Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and today we're going to be taking a look at a little bit of global news as well as a little bit of JP news. So let's not waste any time tonight, let's just get right into it. So JP tonight did have its update to basically allow, well, the World of Final Fantasy crossover. That's essentially all that was being added to the game right now. And if you look at it, well, it's mainly just because the Maxima update is out for the older versions of the game, as well as I believe the Switch version should be coming fairly shortly. I'm not entirely sure when it's coming out. It just hasn't been something that I've really paid much attention to. But yes, we have our event right now on the JP side to get some World of Final Fantasy characters. Now, for anyone who just logs into the game from this point on until I think the 31st, but don't quote me on that. You can get your own free copy of Lawn and Rain just in your mailbox without having to spend anything, which is really cool because I wanted them just for one reason. Frickin' Bahamut. Oh, so nice when you get something for free, right? Anyway. Yes, so basically that is that, and if you want, you can do some guaranteed pulls. Now you'll notice something about this, and that is that the World of Final Fantasy character doesn't have a regular banner. It is a Lapis only banner, and it is 5k Lapis. The most you can spend on this banner is 40k Lapis, and that's between both of them, doing them each 4 times, which I would not recommend. I mean, unless you want Chibi Squall, which I can understand that. Chibi Squalls is pretty cute. Anyway, by doing these, you are guaranteed at least one. That's right. If you do an 11 pull on this, you're guaranteed at least a Lilican Yuna or a Lilican Squall. Now, there's Super TMRs, and TMRs are not exchangeable with their regular versions, so if you're going to go for a Super TMR, let's be honest here. A Super TMR for 40k Lapis is about the best deal we've ever seen in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius on the JP side. I mean, that's 4 guaranteed rainbows, and that's assuming you don't just hit another rainbow in the meantime. And by the way, it doesn't look like this is a 5%. So it's just regular odds, but at least you're guaranteed one of them. If you're looking for a collection, you could do a lot worse than just spending 10k Lapis and getting one of each and just keeping them as your collection, or going for 2 to get one into a 7-star form. 4 for a Super TMR? Yuna's Super TMR, I will remind you, is pretty darn good. It actually is Yuna's robe, which gives, not only a good amount of spirit, but some Esper stats too. And there's quite a few units in the JP side that would do okay with having that. Citra and Fitra are both ones that come to mind. So this is okay enough. But that is not all, because it turns out there was a second banner introduced to the game, and this is really interesting. Say hello to the 35 million DL Select Mages. You'll notice that there is Emperor, Dark Mage Golbez, which is the 5-star Golbez, not the 3-star Golbez, Ultima, CG Sakura, Trance Terra, and Dark Fina. Now, here's the thing. This is really interesting. A 5k 11 pull up to 3 times per person gives you a guaranteed 2 rainbows each. That's right. You can get 2 rainbows off of these just for, doing an 11 pull. So, you're guaranteed 2 rainbows for 5,000 Lapis. It's pretty good, and it definitely seems like bait, but let's face it. Lately on the JP side, stop listening to people who are saying it's bait. Blah, blah, when everything is bait, I guess nothing is. Let's break this down. Is this any good? Well, here's the thing. This will be up till at least the 14th, and there could be another one of these banners later in the month. The 35 million download thing is supposedly going for November, all of November. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one of these for maybe attackers or healers or tanks. Hopefully not tanks. Tanks just... I mean, there's a lot of stuff that evades tanks right now. And tanks... okay, I shouldn't badmouth tanks too much. But what is the good thing of this banner? Well, if you're looking for mages to fight off some trials, you could do a hell of a lot worse. For new players, this is pretty ballin'. If you started the month getting like a 7-star Lightning and her Super TMR, and a Nickel too, now you can just kind of fill in your party really quickly by getting 2 rainbows, even out of this pool. It's not bad to do 2 of these and get 4 rainbows. 4 rainbows for 10,000 lapis? Really good deal. The other thing that's really nice is that you have a potential to get some super TMRs here. Like getting, okay, you have to hit, 4 copies and 3 times. There are worse odds of things happening, but this is actually kind of nice. If you're looking to basically get, a super TMR, or like you're just at 3s in all of these characters, you could do a lot worse than this banner. And so this is a pretty nice little mage banner. And looking at it, Ultima is one of the top 2 mages in JP right now. Not including Spirit Chainers, but whatever. Anyway, Ultima is very powerful, and Dark Mage Golbez is also very powerful too. So, yeah, and CG Sakura is still very strong. The other 3, well, Transterra is strong. The other 2, they have nice super DMRs. So yes, that is the 35 million. And the other thing we found out is that, well, not that, that's just the maintenance notice. Wasn't published in the game. But in 2 days, there will be the mid-month live stream. Now, these live streams are usually shorter. This will be happening at 8 p.m. Japanese Standard Time on November the 8th. And yes, here's the thing that is kind of interesting about this. We're going to be hearing about the November 12th app update and its content. This should include the Super TMR change, as well as potentially maybe a few new things. Maybe the friend points, or the friend list change system where you can have multiple friends. It could be that we see something about the brand new type of event that is going to be added, and there could be something new. We're probably going to see the announcement of some kind of CG character. I wonder if that means that the story event is being pushed back till the 12th. Not entirely sure. I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But if you're wondering about whether you should pull or not on the Chibi Yuna, Chibi Squall, or the 35 million Mage banner, you can easily wait for this live stream on the 8th in 2 days. And then after, when you find out what's coming next, then you can just swing away, George. Anyway, yeah. So November 8th, tune in on my Twitch channel for basically all the information as we watch it. It shouldn't be a long stream. These mid-month streams are usually about 30 to an hour and not as much fluff. Although we'll probably get one more recap of the the goddamn Fan Festa, because we haven't heard that enough in the last 20 live streams lately. But that is not all we're here to talk about, because that was the only piece of news. Well, Global got a little bit of piece of news as well. The Elfim banner is coming, and Elfim's banner has gotten a few upgrades, which I think is kind of interesting. So let's talk about it. First of all, the 3 to 5 star Fordelsket. Fordelske's Cuisine Sword, which is basically a giant butcher knife. 72 attack, 91 spirit. It's pretty good for any magic-based tank that can equip a great sword. It's called a sword, but it's a great sword. I guess it's okay, but it kind of drives me crazy. Anyway, 91 spirit is really high on it, and if you can weapon enhance it to get even more spirit on it, it's just a really solid thing to put on a magic tank that can equip a great sword. Next up, let's talk about Magna. And Magna is a big sticking point for me. You guys have to understand my history with Magna. There we go. Magna on the JP side has been something that I've absolutely hated for the longest time. Magna is one of the characters that I probably quite possibly hate them. Well, I'm not super happy about her. Like, her kit in general is pretty darn good. If I remember, she has some chaining abilities, and I could be not remembering her because, let's face it, I have kind of blocked her from my mind, and possibly from my unit list. There she is. Hello, Magna. Anyway, Magna on the JP side has basically a 25% true dual wield, or true dual hand, sorry, for mages. Now, 25% magic was really shit when it came out on the JP side, and it's even shittier now with other units having come to the JP side. So yes, I am not a fan of this TMR on the Japanese side, but on the global side it does get an upgrade, and a fairly big upgrade. It goes from 25% to 50%, and yes, I know it gives MP too. Focus. Anyway, 50% dual wield magic is pretty nice, but I do believe that something that said... Wasn't there something that said it's unstackable? You know, sometimes I'm doing these videos and I'm like, well, yeah, it's not stackable. That shouldn't be a surprise. People who are global players probably are like, nothing's stackable here. Anyway, it going from a 25 to 50%, the fact that it's not stackable and there's no other really good sources of true dual hand magic, probably this isn't going to be that great. I mean, it might be okay for Grimlord Sakura, possibly? Maybe? I'm not entirely sure. I haven't seen the numbers, and I don't have a global account, so I'm just kind of throwing this out there. I think that this is better, especially in the future, because, you know, another specific unit on the JP side, which is a 5-star base, is the only real other source of true dual hand magic. And true dual hand magic right now is kind of the best a mage can get, and that would be, not you, Nagi, Carlet. Carlet has a TMR that gives 75%, and here on the JP side, it's stackable. Now, obviously, I think that Magna's 50% is pretty good, seeing that probably Carlet's TMR here, when it gets to the global side, will not be stackable either. So getting your hands on a Magna, I think, is perfectly okay. Now, going back to the banner real quick, Leopold. Leopold didn't make much of an impression on me back then, and is completely forgotten to me now. He does have an okay materia, though. 20% defense, 30% HP, and 30% wind resistance. Elemental resistance is nice, and it's generally a more defensive option, so it is perfectly okay. But now we come to the girl herself, Elfim, the 5-star to 7-star, and let me tell you, I know that a lot of global people are very tired of triple rainbow banners with shitty off-banner rates, but here's the thing, Elfim is on her own banner. With that being said, Elfim's kind of a weird character to either recommend or not. She's a very different type of buffer from what a lot of other support units are. Her TMR is a harp. A harp has never been the greatest of equipment, but for her it's perfectly fine. Her super TMR, the robes with 75% or 75 spirit, 20% HP, and a down cost for songs is okay, and she does get a global upgrade of a limit burst fill rate. This is okay. Looking at Elfim's stats, she has really good spirit, she has pretty good defensive things, her equipment, nothing particularly that special, but she has a lot of different abilities that, you know, either do a lot of healing and access, you know, dual white magic or dual black magic to allies, increase limit burst fill rate for allies, has the ability to hide herself, to debuff the enemies. But that was not super the cool thing. Like in her 7-star, she has kind of the things that make her the most interesting. An increase of attack and magic or defense and spirit to allies while singing, and a decrease to enemies of the opposite stats to enemies. So basically she buffs your allies and debuffs your enemies at the same time. Now, taking a look on the JP side, there is one unit that is very, very close to that, and that's Hope. Not regular Hope, future Hope. Yeah, I know, it's like Hope for the future or something, back to the, you know, back to the Hope, a new Hope, like the jokes write themselves. But anyway, that's not the point. The point here is that the abilities are really quite interesting. To have this Hope in the future has that same kind of ability to debuff the enemy and buff your own team. The thing about Hope, though, is that Hope is not needing to be singing at the time. Elfim does. Elfim is very much kind of the last really good attempt at a bard. And don't get me wrong, she is interesting. If you're looking for slot efficiency in your party, let me tell you right now, Elfim kind of fills two roles at once. She can be both a debuffer and a buffer at the same time, and she has good access to these abilities constantly. She also has access to just a lot of, refresh abilities as well as MP refresh abilities. So you can do different things. Now, does that necessarily make her the best? No, but she does have a general restore all HP and MP to allies. So it's kind of like a little proto Aerith on that, but Aerith's ability is just kind of nice, where Elfim's ability is available turn 12, and that's assuming that there aren't any changes. The rest of her kit, she has some, she gets some limit burst per turn, she gets some MP per turn, some auto heal per turn, some extra spirit for equipping her TMR, which is probably the best for her, let's be totally honest here. And her limit burst is really good. I actually really like her limit burst, despite the fact that it is kind of costly. Oh, okay, it's very costly. At 45 limit burst crystals, it's not the easiest to charge. Decreases the enemy all stats for 3 turns to all enemies. Don't know if I said all there twice. My brain's a little tired tonight. 75% to all stats maxed out. That's a big all debuff, and increases all stats to your party members by 145% for 3 turns. Also restores 20% of HP and MP to all allies, and allows Rainbow Wings Glissando for 1 turn. And Rainbow Ring, that basically just allows dual cast. It's okay. Like, that's not the part. Like, the nice thing about Elfim is that if you can consistently charge her limit burst, she can keep your party, and really only every 3 turns, you can basically keep using her TMR to heal, buff, and debuff at the same time. That's one of the advantages. Now, this is one of the things that you got to consider. The split roll versus the focused roll. A focused roll will usually do things better, but a split thing will do 2 things at once, and that's essentially what Elfim is. The big disadvantage is that she is still kind of that singer, so she can't really do much else while she is singing, and that is kind of a problem, but Elfim's kind of a cool character. She's got a cool design, she's got, this really neat different kit that a lot of other units don't have. So if you're wondering, hey, should I spend any resources on this? It's not a bad idea if you need a debuffer, or if you're interested in mages in the future. Getting your hands on at least 1 Magna and 1 Forelskit is not necessarily a bad idea while the banner rates are up, and if you get an Elfim off of it, hey, cool. There's only 1 rainbow, so it's not like you're filling on the VP banner anymore. Anyway, she's not a limited time unit. She'll be in the UOC pool, so yeah, that's basically it. So that's everything about this video on both the global and the JP side that I'm aware of at this moment. And yeah, I'll talk to you next time. Hope you're all doing well.